What's up, everybody? LUI here, salute you wherever you are. And on record, admittedly, 2017 Mr. Olympia unfortunately will be remembered for one buzzword. It was a bonanza, bubble gut bonanza. I mean, namely, everybody is talking about it. Nobody can avoid it. And even the naysayers, the other outlets who try to deny the very existence of it, are being dragged forcibly so by you guys to make videos and talking about what? The bubble gut gate. So it happened, we know it, and guess what? I guarantee you these pictures are not photoshopped. So let's proceed. Everybody's talking about it. There are memes on the internet about the very issue itself, or the prominence of it, so to speak. So it is pretty much everywhere, and nobody can deny it. As a matter of fact, it's not the first time that it happened when it comes to Phil Heath, unfortunately. So it is history repeating itself. And his trainer, God bless him, I do salute him. Probably, one of the best trainers, gurus out there, Henny Rambod, did post a video this morning. And guess what? He disabled the comment. It is a testament that there is some, let's say, triggering out there. So these guys cannot afford to enable the comment because probably the comment will not be that loyal. Same goes with Phil Heath himself. He still disabled the comment on his social media, namely Instagram. And might I remind you that pretty much on record, I think he said that he does not put a lot of importance on social media. I guess he does right now. Even Bev's Gym, I mean, the famous Instagram of Mr. Weinberger is disabled when it comes to pictures that showcase Mr. Olympia Phil Heath. So let's talk about it. The question is, who is the original, the patient zero, the guy who created the phenomenon of the bubble gut? I got the question asked this morning on my live feed on my Instagram. Please do follow me on Instagram so you will not miss on these, right? Who is patient zero? Let's see it. Who is the original, basically, vampire? I'm not talking about Dracula Untold, but rather about, the interview with the vampire. There was Lestat, and there was also Louis. There you go. Louis is the French name, of course. And there was this little girl right here. Well, guess what? The little girl, she made some gains. Saluted she is. But then again, I digress, so proceed, shall we? Who is the OG? Original gangster, Al Capone, Bugsy Siegel, John Dillinger, Lucky Luciano, Machine Gun Kelly. Let me know. By the way, back in the day, the gangsters were wearing three-piece suit, right? Not like today's so-called freaking gangsters. Proceed, shall we? Was it Dennis James? Because on record he had a proper bubble gut of his own. Was it him? No. Was it Ronnie Coleman? He has a proper German huge triple quadruple gut bonanza. And by the way, this picture was taken by Matthias Busse from Team Ondoro, and I guarantee you he did not Photoshop it. So proceed, shall we? Was it King Kamali, the Persian king from New York region? He had a proper huge triggering quadruple bonanza, bro. Guess what? It wasn't him. Was it Ronnie Coleman? Because on record he did have one too. Was it Dave Palumbo? I mean, the guy basically who has a panel actually of basically he invites a panel, and all the panel refuses to recognize the very existence. They say, bro, it is a illusion. Well, I'm sorry, but Dave Palumbo, the bubble gut of yours was not in illusion. And guess what? It was not in transitions. It was not when you were breathing or moving around. It was in a front double. This is not a front double with all due respect. This is a front bubble. That's what it is, bro. So actually, it is not Dave Palumbo, the original gangster, the patient zero of the bubble gut. Was it Guy Green? Because Guy Green on record has an Independence Day. This was not the 4th of July. This was probably the 4th of September. But it was Roman. It was absolutely letting it go. Was it actually the Swiss giant? This guy is Jean-Pierre Fuchs. This guy had a marvelous back. He was expected to be the next Mr. Olympia back in the 90s, baby please, but then again he injured his knees. Whoa, that rhymes. Anyway, he had a tremendous one. And actually, he is close, because he is in the epoch when this bubble gut was created. When he first joined Mr. Olympia, it was in 96. It was invitational. They invited him. Actually, Joe Weider did invite him because it was like a big impression and did not have a bubble gut. But then he moved to the US and he started consuming some things. And then the bubble gut happened. Look at him. He was probably the first guy they spoke about him actually on magazines. They said, Fuchs displays the ever-growing belly of today's pros. This was probably 20 years ago. I mean, this magazine picture right here. It was absolutely there. Behind him is actually Roland Zerlock. Roland Zerlock, a European guy too. He did not have a bubble trouble. Actually, it was not him. It was this guy right here. Incidentally, I think it happens to be Dorian Yates. He is the OG Dorian, bro. The Shadow. You had a tremendous back, but I do think you are the original creator. Patient Zero. You're the very vampire. You are freaking Dracula. For Lord's sake, you created a bubble gut. Actually, he spoke about it in JRE, Joe Rogan Experience, when he confessed somehow that in 96, according to him, and 97, I think he consumed something special. Go ahead and read it and hear it there. That basically promoted the bubble trouble gut bonanza. Now, of course, by today's standards, this might seem aesthetic, but back then it was rather triggering. In my opinion, it was pretty much the very first one. I mean, Nasser somebody, this was in 97, by the way. Nasser somebody was, having a small gut next to him. Can you imagine that? The thing is, when Dorian hit the scene, this was in 1991, the very last Olympia of Lee Haney, he was still small, he was still proper. I mean, the midsection was absolutely controlled. As a matter of fact, a lot of people argue he should have won back then. I mean, the commentator used to say that he looks like Lee Haney with legs because he brought the back, he brought everything, but he didn't win. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that Lee Haney did not deserve it, but Dorian was very, very close. He cannot win Mr. Olympia until you knock the champion. He did not knock him, so it was all good. But then again, he did not trigger us. He was not a monster. But then let's proceed. Back then, there was a giant, kind of an equivalent of today's Big Ramy. This guy is Vic Richards. He never competed versus Dorian, not even Lee Haney. Why? Because he said, I'm not ready yet. But this guy had like almost a vacuum. It was a testament that back in the day, the mass was not the flavor of the month. People were not looking for mass at any cost. This guy did not dare basically step in on stage next to Lee Haney or Lee Labrada, right? Because it was not the criterion. You need to comprehend. Bodybuilding was never about mass until things happened. And again, Dorian was the initiator of that revolution, right? Oh, this is one of my favorite Mr. Olympias of all time, 1993, Jurassic Paul Delat. We got Lee Labrada, Lou Ferrigno, Flavio Baccianini. Oh, Milos Sarcev, quite active nowadays on social media. He was in Mr. Olympia too. Dorian Yates, 93, when he came up with that Metamorphoses, baby please. He got big, he got huge. But then again, nothing triggering. I mean, the gut is not that big, let's be honest, right? Everybody was there. We have Charles Clermont, exceedingly underrated. We have Sonny Schmidt, may he rest in peace, and the rest, you know them, Milosh in the back. We got Lee Labrada, Flavio, and Lou Ferrigno. This guy, I don't even know, forgot his name. Again, we got Porter Cottrell. This guy is David Dearth, David Dearth. He was proper. This guy, he said he can beat Sean Ray, but he will never be able to beat Dorian Yates, even if he was with him alone, actually, in an elevator. But then again, he injured his back, unfortunately, and he dropped out of the scene. We got Sean Ray, we got Kevin Levroni, and this guy is Roland Zerlock. Amazing, this guy was proper. He was definitely amazing. He was actually an adept. It was a guy that trains very light. He said, do not follow the pros. After all, they're just pros. It was one of my favorite, by the way, this guy. Highly underrated. So, all this to say that back then, I mean, nobody had a bubble gut. It was unseen. We did not see bubble guts. You need to comprehend. That was an era that bubble gut did not exist. This is what I'm trying to tell you here, boys. Proceed, shall we? Same year. Proper. Flex Wheeler, for Lord's sake. This is inspiration. This is why I make videos and they flow. The word just flow. I mean, you see Flex Wheeler, for Lord's sake, come on, man. I mean, he brought it that year. He won the Ironman, also the Honor Classic. But then again, Dorian was Mr. Olympia. You need to knock the champion. He was not able to knock him. And Dorian was very good in 93. I mean, he did not steal a Mr. Olympia. You need to comprehend. But this guy could have swayed the history of bodybuilding. Right now, we don't have Louis Marco whining about the bubble, trouble, gut bonanza, and Dave Palumbo and Chris Aceto say, no, it's an illusion, dude. It doesn't exist. It's not there. You know, come on. It's there. You know what's up. Yeah, but it didn't happen. This guy was nicknamed the Sultan of Symmetry. The Sultan is an Arabic name, so to speak, which means a lot of things. It can mean the prince, like the prince of symmetry. This guy was a proper prince of symmetry. But unfortunately, it didn't go his way. And history went the other way, went to Yates. This was 1994. Kevin was still relatively small. This guy got big. He injured his left bicep by doing some rows, and the bubble started to come. You can really see that it's way thicker than that of Kevin Ronnie back then. Clear. So it started right there, and it was a complete separation, a complete divorce from the previous era, that of Lee Haney. I mean, Mr. Olympia no longer had a vacuum. I mean, Lee Haney was the very last one, and then Dorian, basically, it was a bubble, trouble got bonanza, drop it down like a belly dancer. By the way, for the record, 1990, before he was Mr. Olympia, this was, by the way, when he placed second to Momo Benaziza in the Night of Champion, which is the old appellation of the New York Pro, the third most prestigious bodybuilding contest. He was proper, right? He placed second to Momo Benaziza, and then next year he came and he won, right? The same championship, meaning the New York Pro or the ex Night of Champions. Just a testament. He had almost a proper vacuum, you can argue, right? And then 1997, his last competition, it was a mess. It was just a mess. He had some Dorianism going on, literally. He melted. Every body part was not loyal except the back, and the gut was not saluted. So Dorian, in my opinion, is the OG, the Dracula. He's definitely the patient zero of the bubble, trouble, quadruple gut bonanza, for Lord's sake, triggering. And then we have basically everything joining. You have Vladimir Putin in an amateur show trying to showcase. They tried to emulate the pros. That's the problem. That's the triggering issue. Everybody was basically wanted in a bandwagon of a bubble, trouble, gut bonanza. Look at that right here. Pregnancy, daily. And it went to Mr. Olympia too. Everybody, pros. Ronnie Coleman, incidentally, he was absolutely proper. He was in the aesthetic side. And then, while the rest is history, he gained one of his own. So probably 7 months pregnant. Don't take my word for it, but I'm just guessing right here. And then everybody, pros. We had a proper Arnold erection. As you guys know, he's Austrian, so he does speak what? He speaks German. So we had a German with a proper erection and a vacuum. And then we had a proper other German who had a pregnancy on a daily, not saluted and absolutely not Photoshop. Now you tell me, bro, no, he's posing for the back. But come on, isn't this freaking triggering? What is the ceiling? It is a Pandora box, a very Pandora box that was opened and somebody needs to close it. When is the end? And by the way, let me remind you that the IFBB back then did install a proper rule to basically penalize the bubble gut. Thing is, they did not apply it. So they don't apply basically their own rules, right? And this is what's happening right now. They need to put a stop to it, or else, what is the rule? So according to these panelists who go on other outlets, there is no problem with bubble gut. So you mean to tell me that they can come with any type of gut bigger than this one, and they should win, as long as the other body parts are proper? Is that what you're telling me? No, we need to comprehend. I mean, you're not dumb. You need to comprehend that there is a limit. And after all, you're projecting an image to the whole world, right? And the whole world have a different prism from your freaking bigorexia guys. Not only all of you had freaking bubble guts on record, but a normal human being, right? Most of the fans of fitness nowadays, those who watch me, because I don't even go to shows, yet I have more views than these guys. Why? Because I appeal to the general public. The general public happen to be passionate somehow, remotely, to fitness, but they don't have to go to shows or basically to compete, so to speak. These guys, the majority of the pre-workout buyers, of the protein buyers, their prism is different. When they see a bubble gut, it does not reflect fitness for them. So you might yell all day and all night that the bubble gut is no big deal. They will not accept it. I'm sorry, we will not accept it, because at the end of the day, this is the mainstream talking. Unless you want to keep it like a freaking niche designated to bigorexia guys, those complex guys who have no life. They spend all the money on bodybuilding, and their life revolves around bodybuilding. They need to control their cholesterol, their estrogen, their mood, their testicles do not work. They need to take freaking Viagra to have a hard on. All these guys who are broke, because we all know them, those freaking gym bros, they call themselves Big Johnny, Big Mike, Big whatever. They're complex. If you tell them that you lost your gains, they will get depressed. If you want to keep it only to these guys, then just fine. It will be a very small niche, an underground freaking fetish stuff. But if you want to proceed to make it mainstream, like it was the dream of Joe and Ben Weider, you need to roll with us. We are the majority. Majority, we do not salute the bubble gut and approve it to you. I'm sorry. Louis was right and you are wrong. The majority is rolling with me. Take a look at your comment section, dude. You need to comprehend. It's not Louis Marco who is blocking his comment section on Instagram. The consensus now, the majority of people are triggered by the bubble gut. You need to deal with it. And I got news for you. The rules will change quite soon. Stay posted. Stay tuned. And well, you will come back. Actually, these outlets will come back on record and say, hey, bubble gut was wrong. They will change their discourse quite easily and quite fast, as usual. Thank you for watching, and that's, in my opinion, the original creator of the bubble gut, Mr. Dorian Yates. Salute you wherever you are. Don't forget to like the video and tell me what you guys think about. Oh boy, Arnold. Oh boy, an abnormality. Look at that, Mr. U, Mr. Jason Hughes. You. This guy has no bubble gut. He has a reverse bubble gut. Guess what? He does not compete. You know why? No bubble gut, no salute. That's why.